Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Gallagher back with you again this week and welcome in to an all new episode of the Challenge to Champion show. Over the last couple of weeks, we have talked about very significant topics in the lives of everybody, but especially when you talk about them in relation to people like me that have day in and day out challenges. That was understanding and adaptability. If you haven't seen either of those shows yet, I would encourage you to head on over to the Andrew Gallagher YouTube channel and check them out. That's where you can find all episodes of the Challenge to Champion show. On today's episode, it's going to be a bit shorter, and we are going to talk about the concept of trust. Now, everybody knows what it means to trust. Trust people, trust the experiences that you're in is a good one. And in the occasional times where you're in the middle of something that might not be the best, if you realize that fact, you can be able to trust that there is a lesson to come from that difficult situation. Everything has a lesson that comes along with it. Good, bad, indifferent. But what allows us to see what that lesson truly is being able to fully trust that experience, the people that are around us, and our own abilities, successes, and opportunities that we decide to personally chase. This has been unique for me to figure out, given my challenges, because I believe in myself wholeheartedly. I believe in everything that I have to offer in every type of situation that I might find myself in. Now, I'm not an expert in a lot of things, but the big point where I really have to dig down deep and trust is when it comes to my life with CP and how a life with cerebral palsy bleeds into a life where I hope to have success in every other aspect of that life. Having these challenges, it's not just about, oh, can I overcome them? Can I embrace what they teach me? No, it's even more than that. As important as those things are, I need to be able to trust that I can actually follow through and have a fair chance at success. And there are many days for those people that know me well. You know, it's rare you don't see me without a smile on my face or an optimistic attitude about almost anything. But the internal battle of trust that I deal with almost every day, that's always, and likely always will be, a work in progress. That's the case because although I trust myself personally in a lot of aspects, in the ways I'm growing to be a better teacher, a better broadcaster, a better friend, colleague, brother, all the aspects of life that is normal that people want to hopefully become more in tune with and ultimately grow from and towards. Trust is a key component in that. Well, the concept of trust is a little bit different given the added components based off of my challenges. Yes, I can trust myself. Yes, I can trust people around me. I can trust experiences that I have. Whether it's experiences that I've had a lot of previous run-ins with, be it broadcasting that I've had experience with for years. Yes, I trust myself in that regard to do a good job, to be a sports broadcaster. Teaching, I'm still technically an education student, so my own personal trust level and my abilities in that realm isn't as strong as everywhere else. But day by day, teaching experience by teaching experience, it gets better. But when I look at the physical challenges that I have to contend with, how do I trust that they don't get in the way of all these other aspects that I want to deal with, that I want to deal with and conquer and have be a blessing in my life as much as I possibly can? And to be honest, I don't completely know how that works yet. And in all likelihood, I won't know that completely anytime soon. But I do look at it in this one very significant way, given my situation. My challenges are here for me as a way to help myself see things differently. They impact every ounce of my daily life. There's nothing I can't do that isn't affected by the difficult, at times, challenges that I have to overcome. As I've said before, it's 24/7, 365 of, at minimum, recognizing these challenges and figuring out how do I deal with them, but also be independent. How do I deal with them, but also be independent? That's trust on a warpath all its own. For that specifically, I don't have all the answers to it. But I do go at every day with the sense of, okay, Andrew Gallinger, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in yourself to go into a classroom and teach? Teach as best as you can, whether you're having a good day with your challenges or not? And that answer is yes. Now, if I can say yes to that type of a question, I'm in at least decent shape to have success in my day. That's because I recognize that I can't just snap my fingers and my challenges go away. I've got to find ways to deal with them. And like I mentioned in my previous shows, understanding and adaptability, I have to understand why they're happening, figure out how to adapt them to the expectations of the quote unquote real world, and then trust myself to get the job done and excel, at least to the best of my ability, at the experience or job and expectation that I've been tasked with. That's always gonna follow me. I'm always gonna have to trust myself in a way that most people won't have to. Take a look at your own life. If you're watching this, you're probably wondering, okay, how do I do better at my job potentially? How do I be better at being there for my family? Those two instances, everybody thinks about. Everybody thinks about, how can I do better for my family and at my job, regardless of what types of personal challenges that are unique to us that we face. I think about those. And my situation, just having to add thinking about cerebral palsy to those, that's just another day in my life. But what those three situations have in common is they all require a personal level of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in people, trust in experiences, trust that life will just work out the way it's meant to. This is not, thankfully, as winding of a road as adaptability is that I discussed last week, or even understanding to open this series. It's really more of an individual concept that you need to look deep within yourself to figure out, can I trust myself to be able to do my best in a given situation? I recently got the chance to have independence improvements. And in later episodes, I will share what those are. I'm not ready to share that yet, simply because I haven't fully gotten a handle on how these independence improvements will affect me in my day-to-day life completely as of this point. That essentially means I don't fully trust that these independence modes that are brand new to me, keep in mind, that they can be there in every situation I might need them for. I'm still having to figure that out. My own trust in those independence improvements is growing, but it's not yet where it should be. I hope I have complete trust in these independence improvements soon, but it's gonna take time. When the time is right, I'll share those with all of you. But let me close today's show by having that be a lesson. For those of you that know me personally, you know me as the type that's willing to genuinely try in order to better myself. Well, these avenues of independence that I'm going to help me do that, it's working, but as of today, July, as of today, July 29th, 2020, all the pieces are not yet in place for me to say wholeheartedly and confidently that I trust these new mobility aids 100% yet. But I will get there. With trust takes time, and from time to time, simply experience as well. So let me close the show by saying this. Trust yourself. Trust the people around you. Trust the experiences that impact your day, whether they're significant or if they seem like something small and inconsequential at the time. Just maybe it's that openness with the idea of trust that can help us see that there's always ways that we can do better, be better, if we trust ourselves, those we care about, and the experiences that we've had in our past, present, and hope to have in our future. Next week, I will come to you sharing the concept of acceptance. That is a show I personally am very excited about. Acceptance, that can be a real doozy when it comes to life with 24/7, 365 challenges like I have. So while I have a lot to share in that regard, given my life and my own challenges, there are some foolproof ways for each and every one of you to find acceptance in your own lives, so all of you can do better, be better at everything you do, and continue further along that path from overcoming challenges to be a champion. I can't wait for that episode next week. I hope you all enjoyed this episode on trust. And once again, if you've missed any episodes, head on over to the Andrew Gallinger YouTube page. The first 2 episodes are up there. Understanding and adaptability, with this one right behind it. Have a great week, everyone, and I will join you again next week for episode 4 of the Challenge to Champion show, taking a look at the idea and necessity even of acceptance. Have a great week, everybody.